And welcome to Layers of the Culture.
Yes, sir.
This is Howie, my man.
Kurt, what's up, y'all?
All right. Back in the house.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all checking us out once again, doing our thing. We got a lot to talk about today, and we're going to get right into it. What is this, episode?
26, I believe.
26? Okay.
Yeah, let me double check, because I
think you're right.
I think it's 26, unless we did 26. Yep,
nope.
It's 26.
Yeah, you're right, 26.
26.
All right, episode 26. So y'all, make sure y'all, do us a favor, hit those buttons, like share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. Definitely helps with the algorithm. We just trying to do our thing. So anytime you hit those buttons where you like or subscribe, it kind of helps to spread the word to other people. So, help us out with that. Doesn't cost you a thing. So, before we get too far into the show, how has your week been?
It's been okay. Been trying to just work. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to. I don't mean to be rude.
Oh, my bad.
I'm just trying to cut. I was just trying to cut the volume down and everything. So now I got your full attention. Yeah, it's been pretty good. Might be getting a new job, so I'll be having trade jobs. Not two, but trade. Trade jobs.
Gotta say it like the Jamaicans. Tree jobs.
Tree jobs. be working like Jamaica, man. But yeah, that's not
all tree, y'all.
All tree. But yeah, so I'm stoked about that. I'm gonna start April the 7th, so I can get things kind of in order and stuff before I be like, yeah, I'm ready to go.
Right.
Yeah. So
as y'all can see, we struggling, man. We gotta have 3 or 4 jobs just to keep ourselves afloat.
Man,
so, it's crazy out here, man. I mean, I can't even talk about it, man. It just pisses me off when I talk about the price of stuff. But yeah, man, how's everything with the family?
Oh, we good. Just doing family stuff pretty much.
All right.
How about your week, sir?
Everything's been good with me, man. I can't complain, just working and taking it easy, you know what I mean? Just living. These days, the older I get, the more I just realize the importance of my peace, you know what I mean?
Man, listen.
And I'm enjoying it. You know what I mean? I cannot complain. I'm enjoying my peace. So everything is good. But yeah, also, before we get too far in the show, I bought some new vinyls I wanted to show you.
All right.
Got a few here.
Yeah, I need to get my vinyl. Okay. The classic right there.
Tribe Called Quest.
We on a world tour with Muhammad, my man.
Yes, sir. Let's see. We also got Brand Nubian.
Oh, classic right there.
Man. Brand Nubian.
Classic.
Yes, sir. I saw that now. I don't really see that on vinyl, so I was like, yo, I gotta get that.
Yes, sir.
And it's kind of a limited edition, remastered and all of that, so definitely love that one.
1 for 1, Brand Nubian. Come on, 1 for all. Oh!
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Criminal minded.
You've been blinded.
Looking for a style like mine, you can't find it. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I had to get that one, you know what I mean? So,
yo, that's dope.
Yeah, I was like, I went in there only planning on getting like 1 or 2, but I kept seeing stuff and I was like, yo, I'm gonna need that one too.
Get that one.
All right.
Hey,
so
you got
now,
bullshit?
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
yeah, by all means necessary.
By all means necessary. You know what I mean? I had to get that one too. That's a classic right there. Another Boogie Down Productions.
Will always get paid. Yes!
Yes, sir.
Here is something you can't understand. Oh, just kill a man.
Yes, sir. Cypress Hill, what y'all know about that? Yes. You know what I mean?
That, man, I ain't gonna lie. That album don't really get the prop it deserves. And I'm not saying that because they one of my favorite groups. That's just a fun album to listen to.
Facts.
And it just kind of takes me back to a time where things were really a little bit more simple. It ain't crazy like the shit we got now. But
yeah,
it was a simple time.
It's like it's not too many songs on there that you can skip. You know what I mean? Because How I Could Just Kill a Man, you got Hand on the Pump.
Shotgun,
hand on the pump.
Left hand on the 40. Pump it on blood.
Shot my shotgun.
La 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 la. Dude, Cypress.
Underrated song is Hole in the Head. That's underrated. The Funky Feel one.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Stone is the Way to Walk. That's one of my favorites. You know what I mean? So it's Latin Lingo. That's one of my favorites.
The break right there.
Something for the blunt. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Muggs with his foot in that shit.
Man, listen. I got two more. That's it. These are the last two.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Bam. You know what I mean?
Sir.
Come on, man. You gotta have, if you are a vinyl lover, you gotta have Paid in Full in there.
Yeah, I gotta get
You know what I mean? That is a classic album right there, boy.
I gotta get a Kane record, man.
Yes, sir.
I gotta get too.
And then last but not least,
yes, sir. Boom. Follow the leader.
Follow the leader. You can't have one without the other. You know what I mean? If you're gonna have Paid in Full, you gotta have that too. So those are my latest vinyl cops. Yeah. So yeah, just wanted to let y'all see that joint right quick.
Yeah, that Follow the Leader joint is like clap your hands, you won the trip.
Yeah.
Let's make a deal. You gonna said follow the leader, but don't like make a deal, but don't shit. How he say it?
I forget how he said it.
It said don't make the price is right. Don't make a deal too soon. How many folks can name this too? Like the way he killed that shit.
Yeah, man. Rakim is, man. That's why he one of my favorite. He will always be in my top 5. Matter of fact, he will always be my number 1. Anybody else comes behind him. You know what I mean? Kane, any of them. Rakim is always number 1. All right, so before we get too far into the show, I definitely want to give a rest in peace. We lost the famous boxer George Foreman. You know what I mean? Some of you young kids might not know him, but you might know the Foreman Grill. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But yeah, man, that dude, he was a legend in the boxing industry. And it's definitely hard to know. He was 76, I think they said, when he passed.
Oh, 70. But you might be right. Yeah, 76. Yeah. They did a movie about him a couple of years ago.
Yep.
It's a good one. I recommend people to see that.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I can respect about, and I don't know if the movie kind of reflected his life all the way to the T, but the thing I respect was when he started, get into ministry and service and stuff, he had a man, from a different faith had a room dedicated to him because he beat him in the boxing. He had the Muhammad Ali room.
Yeah.
And that's just like, man, like stuff like that, that's just so dope. Like, hey, I can't, I might be this way, but I understand I can't deny that man's greatness.
Exactly.
I can't deny that person who they are. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Man, I love that.
Yeah, man, that speaks to his character. You know what I mean? It's a lot of respect going on right there. You know, you don't have a lot of that these days. So, that's why I definitely love George Foreman like that, man, because that dude had great character. So, and also, if y'all haven't heard, Sauce Walker and one of his artists were shot. Now, Sauce Walker did survive. He's, recovering, but his artist, which is Sayso P, he did not make it. So he has passed, and, there's an ongoing, I guess, investigation into that whole thing. So rest in peace to them. Let's go ahead and give them a moment of silence. All right. Thank y'all for doing that. Much appreciated.
Yep.
All right. So I think that was pretty much it as far as anyone who had, rest in peace or illness or anything like that. I'll go ahead and I guess jump into some birthdays real quick. Now, let's see here. Back on March 23rd, we have my man T Grizzly. and Quando Rondo as well.
All right.
March 25th, we have my man Big Sean. Happy birthday to him.
All right.
March 26th, we have my man Juvenile, aka Juvie. You know what I mean? I
pay the checks, you can get your back.
Yeah. I put a post up for him, I think, on our TikTok. I meant to do one on our Instagram too, but yeah. Definitely a legend from Louisiana.
Yeah.
The 27th, is that today? What's today? Today,
27th.
Yep, today we got happy birthday to Freddie Fox, aka Bumpy Knuckles. You know what I mean? That dude, you know, had a lot of rappers shook. You know what I mean? A lot of rappers be looking at him like, I don't want it. Trust me, I don't want it. So he's one of the dope ones. Coming up tomorrow on the 28th, we got Salt from Salt and Pepper and Mr. Cheeks. So happy birthday to them.
All right.
Coming up on March 30th, we got Hammer, I am, Hammer, I am.
I'm sorry.
You know what I mean? Hey, Hammer, we don't want none, all right?
Listen,
we know your story. You are a legend when it comes to, you know, putting other rappers in fear.
Let me tell y'all something. Y'all can look at them like, oh, clown them little dancing pants all you want to.
Right.
That dude from Oakland, he let you know.
My man pressed Redman. He had a hit put out on third base. I mean, he was telling rappers, look, I don't play that. You know what I mean? So we don't want no Hammer. But anyway, all right, so let's see. On March 31st, we got Tony Yayo and Shouty Low. Rest in peace to him.
Yep.
And happy birthday to both of them. Coming up on April 2nd, we got Quavo. We got Prince Paul and Young Jock. Happy birthday to all three of them. April 3rd, we got Young M.A. Happy birthday to her. Yep. And then last but not least, on April 5th, we got Pharrell and Juicy J. Happy birthday to them.
All right.
So yeah, that's it for my birthdays. I appreciate that. And let's see, as far as music, I only got a couple of things. Corday got a new joint out that came out called Nothing's Promised. That came out a couple of weeks ago. Daylight got a new joint out called Romania. And then Onyx got a new joint out called What We Doing. You know what I mean? Onyx has been pretty consistent here lately with making sure new music gets put out. So I love that about them. And, you know, they're still giving you the Onyx flavor. So, you know, y'all should go check all those out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, now we can get into our question of the day, I guess.
Yeah. So, I kind of have it written down a certain way. I'm gonna try to ask this question, a particular way. In today's political climate, where are these celebrities? Where is these? You know what I'm saying? Should we be listening to them? Should we be? You know, it just seems to me that. And I'm just thinking of some people in particular, but it seems to me there's a lot of stuff going on. They even trying to bring certain things back, and you know we'll get more into that because I don't want to, you know, give. I mean, y'all probably already know, but it's just the things that's been going on. Like it used to be a time, and like I said, we'll talk about that later. It used to be a time the artists would get up and say, like, "Hey, this, you know, this administration, this ain't cool." I mean, some people decided, you know, some people would decide not to say anything, and that's okay. Like, I think, you know, artists, and I know this ain't just hip hop, but this is what you're saying in general. Rage Against the Machine, the Dixie Chicks, they said things that was, you know, hey, you know, we don't stand for this.
Right.
You know, but now, and then, you know, people like Destiny Child at the time, I mean, they were young too. So I couldn't really expect them to come out here and say anything politically charged or anything like that. But it just seems to me now that we're at a time that, you know, really, I mean, I give it to Kendrick, you know, obviously, I mean, he has said something, but I mean, as far as like a new artist and stuff going, like they trying to just, It's damn near like they're part of the problem because they're keeping like, oh, we're gonna keep this party going. Like, nah, like eggs, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, like
exactly.
Eggs bad out here. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
So I mean, it's just that was the question I asked. Should we be really following these people? Should we really be looking to them for guidance?
I mean, to a degree, I'd say yes and no. You know what I mean? But I think there are some celebrities out there, a small handful who got something to say and, don't mind standing up for it. But it's way more nowadays who are just like, I'm not touching politics. I'm not touching this. And I don't want to deal with that because they just want to get out there and, make their money. And, they just want to live um, a financially stable life. So a lot of them are like, if I say something, I could get canceled or, I might get looked at the wrong way. So one thing I do appreciate is the ones who are not afraid of that. Like Anthony Mackie recently spoke out about how he raises his sons to be a traditional man instead of just allowing this climate of, you know, allowing boys to be a little more feminized. You know what I mean? And he was just like, no, I'm not doing that. You know what I mean? And I don't think he's necessarily saying that I would stop my kid from being gay if he said he was gay. You can't do that. But he's just saying, I'm teaching them what men should be like. Because it's a lot of men out there nowadays who really don't act like men. And it's not just the feminized thing, it's the, oh, I don't have no responsibility. I can just lay on the couch all day. I don't need a job. My parents got me, and all that kind of stuff. It's that too. So he's just saying I'm teaching them to be stand-up dudes and respectable to women and all of that good stuff. So I love that he wasn't afraid to say that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people be like, I don't want to touch it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I definitely think there's a few celebrities out there that like him who are worth listening to, but the vast majority, yeah, no. Most of them aren't really prepared or want to say anything. And y'all let us know how y'all feel. Should we be listening to more advice from celebrities? I mean, I'd say the vast majority, no. But you got to really look for the ones who are willing to say something. You know what I mean? So that's how I feel. But yeah, did you guys want to say anything else about the question of the day?
Nah, that's it. Like I said, we'll probably recap a little bit of that stuff on the focus topic towards the end. But yeah, we'll just get back into it. First things first, man. Let's talk about the Kanye situation.
How he went on the rant.
Yeah, my man.
He said,
listen, my man wilding.
He wilding out, man. Wow. Kanye, I don't know what's going on, man, but I just want good music. That's all we want, man. We just want some good music instead of all of this, I think Kanye is really, I'm not even gonna say he's losing it, but I do think he's allowing himself to be a little too much in his feelings. And, because there is some shit out there that I'm sure he's telling the truth about the industry being certain ways and all of that, but bro, you're your own boss now. You know what I mean? You're not signed to somebody else. You got your own shit going on, and you should just be teaching other people how to do shit like that. Mm-hmm. Like, hey, you can sign to a record label, but you need to try to graduate into being your own boss and having your own companies and spread shit like that. You know what I mean? Not just constantly being mad, oh, the Jews doing this and they're trying to take away this and they're doing that and and these people betrayed me. I mean, that's some shit that will happen in the industry. People are gonna betray you. But to wild out, he talking about Jay-Z kids is the R word, you know what I mean? I don't even want to say that on Beyonce's internet and get canceled. It's like, woo. I was like, yo, that's wild, man. Then he was talking junk. He challenged Kendrick Lamar to a battle. He was like, Kendrick, please try to come for me, please. And I'm just like, Kendrick has always given this dude so much props. I've heard several songs where Kendrick has given him props. when he was going for president, he was like, yeah, I'm voting Mr. Kanye West for president. I'm bumping college dropout. God bless Americans. You know, he was like, yeah, he was like, if he get to be president, something about like, if he get into the White House, he might let me come up in there and get some head up in the residence. I was like, yo, that's what's up. Kendrick was paying him the utmost respect. You know what I mean? So it's like, why would you turn around and just come for him? What has he ever done? I don't know.
To me, going back, and I know Kendrick Lamar has been the topic and everything. It's kind of weird to me. The people, it's like you notice the people that he has respect for really don't respect him.
Right. That's true.
And honestly, I think it's kind of indirect. I want to shout out Thought Crimes because they're the people that kind of brought this information to it.
Okay.
The reason why Kanye, which they are, I think they got good evidence. Might be speculating, but I'm on. From me saying, I'm gonna say speculation. They probably got more facts, so y'all might want to check them out. However, for what I understand, Kanye, Diddy, Cameron, Mace, and there's some other people, but at least remember those four. They are trying to line and get everything together to take Jay-Z's out.
Wow.
Jay-Z out. That's what that whole the lawyer and all that stuff was about. You know, and like I said, I'm not the biggest Jay fan. I'm not going to sit here and cap and say I'm the biggest Jay fan. And the reason why the reason why Kanye, you know, attacked, and actually, you know, you got Lil Wayne, Nicki Minaj, and part of that too.
Yeah.
The reason why they attacked Kendrick is because Kendrick is kind of in alignment with Jay-Z. You know what I'm saying? He, you know, I mean, if you notice in the Grammy, he shouts him out, this, that, and the third. I mean, Jay-Z also gave him opportunity,
right?
You know, for the Super Bowl and stuff. Which, you know, that's something else we need to talk about. The feds were looking at Kendrick for whatever, but we'll get back.
I heard something about that, about the Super Bowl performance.
Yeah,
like a bunch of stuff that they caught, and they just, you know,
125 people complained.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Like that's 1% of 1% of 1% of about like millions of people.
Yeah,
who tuned into that. So you only have 120, and then you had to bring the Fed in.
Right. And I heard some of them complaints was based on, you know, Drake fans feeling a way about him, you know, kind of in their feelings or feeling like, I think they were saying that maybe Drake was trying to encourage his people to complain about it. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, it's sad if all he got is 125.
Right.
That's some sad shit.
Yeah.
But anyway, going back to what I was saying. But yeah, with this rant, that's what this is setting up. Now as far as like the rant itself, I didn't like the fact that he brought up the man's kids.
Right.
You know, I would, even with Beyonce, I can kind of shrug at that because they're kind of like, that's his peers. You know what I'm saying? Even although I will say that's also that man's wife. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it's really distasteful. You know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, you wouldn't want Jay-Z talk shit about your kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you know, you wouldn't want him to talk crazy about Northwest, talking about, you know, he especially say some shit like, yeah, your daddy didn't even want you. You lucky you was here. He could have let you hit the wall or some shit. Right, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
like literally, like
yeah.
Literally, oh God.
Yeah, we gonna leave
Northwest. If you hear this, I truly apologize because that's not my intention. Was not to do that.
Yeah,
but I'm saying he wouldn't want Kanye would not want that happening.
Right, exactly.
To his child.
Facts.
Just facts.
Facts. Yeah, it's crazy, man. I just, I don't know, man, but I just feel like Kanye, and somebody said something that really made me feel like this was really what it is. I can't remember who it was, but they were like, you know what? Kanye started wilding out after his mom's passed. And that's when it all began. So it's like, that makes me think like he's just still grieving. He's still in his feelings, just hurt, because that was his number one in the whole world, to lose somebody like that. Sometimes it can drive certain people a little, to the left, you know what I mean? Or, right, left, whatever you want to call it. But so I hope, that he can get some therapy for that, man, because you gotta let some of this go, man. You know what I mean? Now I get it, you know what I mean, if some people betray you, but that kind of shit happens in the industry. Like Beanie Siegel had his issues with Jay-Z, so he threw a couple shots at him on songs. Memphis Bleak had issues with Jay-Z for a minute. He came out because he said, I think I remember in one song, Jay-Z was like, as long as I'm alive, Memphis Bleak will always be a millionaire. And Bleak was like, after Rockefeller, he was like, I ain't had no money. So like, where was you at? You know what I mean? But that was it. You know what I mean? He didn't really take it that far. Oh, you got retarded kids, or, excuse my language.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? So Kanye, I think you just allowing your feelings to get too involved, man. You got way more important stuff to do before you get to an age when nobody wants to listen to your music at all. You know what I mean? Because these kids getting to a point where if you're not 25 or younger, they're like, oh, you're old. You're 27? What? You're ancient. It's like, what?
Hey, you about to be a granddad, ain't
right. You know what I mean?
God damn.
Exactly. So I'm just saying.
That
but
shit,
yeah.
I was like saying to the because I was like, it'll be 42 next year. So, this coming up year, I say, I tell people at the work, this is what I want y'all to do. I want y'all to give me that tapioca pudding. I want y'all to take me to bingo so we can get the, what I'm saying, get this money right, get that 5,000, and play 3 cards.
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Get that pot up. Be fine, niggas. Like,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man. But I definitely hope things get better for Kanye. You know what I mean? Because I feel bad for him. You know what I mean? But I don't know, man. How do you got anything else you want to say about Kanye?
Nah. It's just other than, man, I know we do get the help, but again, like I said, this whole thing, this whole thing is a ploy to try to really take Jay-Z out. You know what I'm saying? Just speculation, according to Thought Crime. Again, want to shout them out. But yeah, I think this is what this is.
I can agree.
Well, But let's get on to this MC Shan and versus Lord Jamar. I did not get a chance to really look into this.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure do you have a little bit?
I looked into it so here's the thing. There's a video where MC Shan is just kind of going on a rant, which he does a lot, where he just talks shit, and he was just like, yeah, Lord Jamar, you said all that shit and blah, 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 and now your people is talking shit about me. I guess a lot of people who follow Lord Jamar is, talking about MC Shan, but I looked and I could not find any clips where Lord Jamar was talking about MC Shan. So I don't know what's going on. If y'all know about it, please put it in the comments, because I've been trying to find out what he's talking about. Because I scoured the internet.
And don't get me wrong, it's like, why?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It just don't make sense. I don't know if MC Shan's trying to sensationalize or he's trying to get, you know what I'm saying? It seems like to me I do respect him because he is my elder, you know what I'm saying? But it just seems like to me, like since he didn't get the shine, or the shine is already up. So people, found ways to do things and get things. And now he's kind of like bitter, just like the whole thing with him and Nas, like, oh, he ain't give me no money and this, I'm going to take care of my kids and blah, blah. Right. And it's just like, man, like at some point, man, you got to be happy for, especially dude come from where you from to make it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Why are you being? And then too, in the climate that we in now, really don't. I mean, this kind of goes back to what we were talking about with Kanye. We really don't need division right now, fighting within each other right now. This is really not the time to do that.
Yeah,
At all.
Definitely. And I think that MC Shan's situation is a lot like Kanye's. I think he just, like you said, he's hurting, he's bitter. Over the years, things just didn't go the way he wanted. And some of his points that he argued are valid points. You know what I mean? Like he talks about how KRS wouldn't be KRS without the battle. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So shit like that is valid, but he's always like, well, he didn't beat me in no battle, and I could do this to him and blah blah blah. He know how to rock a crowd, but he can't out rap me. And I'm just like, I don't know about that, MC Shan. You know what I mean? Now, this is the thing. KRS-One is a dope rapper. Now, he's not my top 5, but he is a very dope rapper. And I do think that what keeps him ahead of the curve, because he's always dropping music. He stays consistently dropping music. I mean, the man got like 30 albums. You know what I mean? So it's like he made sure that, okay, I don't want people to forget about me. So I'm just constantly just staying in the studio. Mm-hmm. And I think that's dope. You know what I mean? And MC Shan, yeah, you can still rap, but you're not consistent enough to where I would say you would win a battle with KRS-One.
Nah.
You know what I mean? I just don't see it.
Because that's one thing I can give KRS-One. He eats, lives, breathe, and shit this hip hop shit.
Facts.
Like, all the time. Like, that's his whole essence. That's something that I can respect.
Yeah, facts. Facts. So that's why I'm just like, leave it alone. Because he like you said, he goes on rants. He did Nas twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's like,
it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, at some point you gotta, quit being bitter and actually, do something. Right. I mean, you're an elder statesman. You should be, like him, not to bring, Melly Mel, they get bitter and angry at this younger, at the younger generation or just people, that's getting this shine. But it's like, nah, you need to encourage them. Because if they don't get the shine, if they don't surpass you, the art is dying. Yeah. Just like, I mean, again, I hate to keep bringing up Kendrick Lamar, but at the same time, that's why I rock with him with as far as like him kind of, doing what he did, because him breaking the records he did, because that's what you're supposed to do as a fucking artist.
Right. Take the
like
culture
you're supposed
forward.
to take it forward. Mm-hmm. No one has done that in a while. But you know what I'm saying? So, that's either here nor there. But yeah, MC Shan, just stop being bitter.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. Please. I just, because I'm like, you way too old for this. You know what I mean? You got to be somewhere right around 60. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So just allow people to give you your props and all of that, and just say, he was somebody who helped open some doors for battle rap, and he was putting on for Queensbridge. Mm-hmm. And all of that, and just sit back and relax and let people just give you that glory. But all of this constantly just ranting about other rappers, it really don't speak well for you, man. It really don't. So, but he was always like somebody that I appreciated in hip hop growing up. You know what I mean? Because when the battle was going on, everybody was like, yeah, you got to buy that KRS-One album. And I was like, yeah, cool, but I also want the MC Shan. You know what I mean? Because I still like MC Shan. I'm not going to just put him to the side just because of how a battle swayed. You know what I mean?
No, Shan is nice.
So, yeah. But anyway, that was just, how it was for me growing up. So what topic you want to swing over to now?
Well, let's look at this Big U situation. So with him, I don't really understand the full details of that. I understand that from what you were saying, that he turned himself in. I hear other sources saying that like Whack 100 set him up on some stuff. Right.
That's what I'm basically hearing, the same stuff. It's like I found out about it because Big U actually did a video. He was in his car He was like, yeah, I'm just doing this video because I'm headed down to the police station to turn myself in. And so, you know, supposedly, I guess somebody got killed, and supposedly he either had something to do with it or made the call or some shit like that. And so, you know, and then a whole bunch of other shit kept stemming from it. Like a lot of people were saying, well, yeah, he should have been in jail because of Nipsey, you know what I mean, that he was the one who actually got Nipsey done in.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that's not true because he was like Nipsey's manager, you know what I mean? So he was, you know, and they were both in the same crew.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what is it? They're Crips, I think. Rolling 60s,
yeah.
So, you know, they're both under that umbrella. So it's just like, I hope that's not true. You know what I mean? But, and like you said, supposedly Whack 100 has something to do with it because Whack 100, I ain't gonna lie, he does talk a lot on the internet. And so he's always constantly just talking. So eventually somebody's gonna say, yo, you know, you talking too much. You know what I mean? So maybe that's why they feel like he has something to do with something because he does talk a lot. I don't think Whack 100 purposely is out here trying to snitch on nobody, but
no.
I think he's one of those people who feels like, oh yeah, I know some inside shit that you don't know, and I can put you on the game, blah, blah, blah. You know, I think he's looking at it like that, like not like I'm snitching, I'm just kind of putting you on game. You know what I mean? So, you know, that's just how I look at it. But yeah, I don't really know all the details, but I heard that the reason Big U was turning himself in was because some person got shot who was pretty young, actually. You know what I mean? A younger kid. And so a lot of people was like, yo, that kid was way too young, you know, to be dealing with some shit with you, you know?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't blame him on that.
Yeah, and if y'all know any more details, please put them in the comments. We appreciate that.
Yep.
And once again, hit those buttons. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe.
Brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
Brothers and sisters.
Help us with that algorithm, you know what I mean? So, but yeah, that's pretty much all we know about the Big U situation. So please enlighten us because I don't like to really indulge in the negative stuff. You know, I like to be in the know a little bit, but I don't like to indulge too deep because that can kind of cloud you. You know what I mean? I want to appreciate hip hop as a culture and not, oh, well, such and such got shot. You know, well, you know, yeah, I don't want to do all that.
So let's go to this Yella Beezy.
Yella Beezy,
yeah, my bad. Not Breezy, Beezy. So he got arrested for the Mo 3, right?
Yeah. For that killing, like you said, it was a couple years ago. And so supposedly, I guess he has something to do with it. He's now in court dealing with that. And, you know, it's just a bunch of shit coming out about that, man. But, you know, these young rappers, you know, a lot of them are trying to live the street gangster lifestyle. And I don't think they're helping themselves out at all because it's like, I'm not saying that you can't be somebody's gangster. For number one, you don't need to be. If you're going to be a rapper, pick one lane. Either you're a rapper or you're a gangster. You know what I mean? If you get into rap, it's because you should want to be an entertainer and, you know, and hone your skills and maybe tell a few stories about shit you've been through. But it shouldn't be, oh, a popular rapper set somebody else up to get killed or you did something to kill somebody. It's like, why are you still doing that shit? If that's what you did in the past, let that shit go. Because the rappers in my generation, they'll tell you quick, yeah, I was into some dirt, but that was in my past. Now that I'm a rapper, I'm leaving that shit alone. You know what I mean? Most of them anyway. And now it's like the most of y'all trying to still be gangsters after you become rappers. It's like, why?
And that's the thing is just, and then they sloppy at it too, especially like with the whole situation with you know, the Sauce Walker situation. The people that did it, hell, one of them took the mask off while I was filming. Like, why would you do that?
Right.
Like, yo, just like, hey, arrest me. I did that shit. It's like,
that's what I'm saying. I don't even get it. I don't even know how to do it. You know what I mean? So, and then they said Sauce Walker and them kind of bordered on themselves because they made some video flashing money, and all of this, and talking all that, and, you know, yang, and you know, it's like, why do y'all try to prove that y'all so tough, and then shit like this happens? it's like, I don't know the whole situation, but it's like, if you want to protect your money, you ain't got to show it off. People going to know you got money.
Oh, yeah, fact.
I don't need to know. I don't need to see Jay-Z wearing 1,000 rope chains just to see that he's a billionaire. I know
actually, that's one thing I could give Jay-Z. When he was, I think there was a picture when he had like maybe $1 million. He had all that gold and stuff on. Now that he's a billionaire, you see less and less of that.
Over the years, the more he took all that shit off because he ain't need it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and I'm not mad at people who do it because people like Slick Rick, he like to show off his gold, but that's just part of his persona.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
But it ain't all. But it ain't all the gold. It ain't all about the chains. Right. He actually has some artistry as well.
Exactly, and I'm sure he when he travels, he got protection with him, security, and all that because you don't see Slick Rick doing videos like, yeah, I'm gonna be in Tennessee rocking all my chains and showing out and holding all the money up to his ear. No.
Oh no,
I've seen him come here to North Carolina. He had the jewelry on, but he didn't have it on at first. He came out, started performing, and then just to step it up, he was like, yo, bring me my shit. And he came out and they started putting the jewelry on him. You know what I mean? So it was just part of the show.
Yeah.
You could tell he don't just go around like, yeah, I'm going to Walmart. Let me just put the, you know what I mean?
Put the jewelry on.
Right. That's part of his entertainment value. And, with him coming from England and all of that, it's a whole thing with royalty and jewelry and all of that. It kind of makes you feel royal, when you do shit like that. So that's part of that. You know what I mean? But that's it. So I don't know, man. I don't know. But by the time y'all see this, we will have already. I'm gonna drop the album review for Smith & Wesson's Infinity. So I'm probably gonna drop that first, and then drop this episode after that. So look for them both on Friday. So yeah,
Friday.
Yes, sir. But yeah, man, I hate that whole situation is going on with Yella Beezy and MO3, or I don't know how you do it if it's Mo3, but I'm assuming it's MO3. But yeah, if y'all know any more details about that, let us know, because I know that if he did have something to do with that, it's coming back to haunt him. He probably felt like, oh, I'm good now. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing happened because it's been a couple years, but nah, that shit will find you, if you don't know what you're doing. Unless you've made it a lifestyle of being a gangster, then you wouldn't be a rapper. You know what I mean? If you make it a lifestyle, you might know how to get away with it, but you can't do both.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You can't do both. And I don't encourage anybody to be nobody's gangster. You ain't got nothing to prove out here. Get some success in your life and call it a day.
Facts.
So yeah. Anyway,
let's get on to that Wise Intelligent real quick. So
yeah,
he has a podcast, and you were saying he had a particular topic that you was focusing on.
Yeah, so he does a lot of deep topics and all of that. I think the podcast is called STFU, like Shut the Fuck Up, where he basically just telling people like, here's how the culture for Black people should be and hip hop should be, and if you got anything outside of that to say, shut the fuck up.
Dang.
So he kind of does that. That's usually his kind of focal point. Trying to drop some jewels and gems on you, and then saying, if you feel opposite to that, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Fuck up.
So yeah, and I really just love what I heard so far. I've heard a couple of clips, and so I subscribed to his YouTube page. And,
so it's on YouTube. Okay, I didn't know if he might have had it on, a different app.
I think he may be on other stuff too, but his main stuff is YouTube.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So yeah, definitely go out and check that out, because he's one. That's why I said it's a few celebrities still out there trying to speak up for the right thing. He's one of them. You know what I mean? So, so that's why I sent you a clip of his, so check that out when you get a chance. But yeah, it's a really good clip where he's just kind of going in on stuff like that, politics and all of that. You know what I mean? So he goes in on everything. So yeah, and I wanted to just give him a shout out, for still speaking up, because he doesn't really make a whole lot of music, but every now and then you might hear a freestyle from him. You know what I mean? But for the most part, he's using his gift of articulation
fact.
to speak the truth.
Yeah, he's really, because he actually done lectures and things like that. And yeah, I've always tuned into his lectures. It's really good to see that, you know, people like him are doing this to impart wisdom into, like, you know, younger folks, or, you know, people in my, you know, in our age group. So
yeah,
it's definitely dope to see that.
Yep. And he came out as part of a group called Poor Righteous Teachers.
Yep,
And,
PTR,
you know, they were,
yeah,
PRT for short. And they were always just trying to spread message of the truth. You know, you could tell that he was just always really like, nah, I'm going to speak on it. You know, I'm not scared to say nothing. You know what I mean? I'm going to speak on anything. If it's about spreading the truth, you know what I mean? He going to do it. So I like to look at him as like a Malcolm X in hip hop. You know what I mean?
All right, yeah.
Because he fiery with the speech. You know what I mean? He fiery. So anyway,
so now we're looking at Kendrick and Drake beef.
Yeah. You know, we know this is an old topic, but we still got to talk about it a little bit.
We were actually, a couple of days ago, came up on the year mark of that. And for some weird reason, it's still kind of going on. Not necessarily on wax, but, you know, hey, I'm still trying to get dirt on Kendrick. Kendrick has really been, like, he's responded, but not like in the way that he wants him to respond. Oh, I want you to say this and go back and forth. It's just like he, you know, like Drake, he's just finding, like, if he would have just shut up and let Kendrick have, like, because, you know, have the thing, we wouldn't be discussing. I mean, Drake, all he would have to do is just make more music.
But it would have been died down by now, you know what I mean? And the whole lawsuits and all of that shit. It's like, it's so weird because he keeps trying to put out the message that it's not about the beef. It's different. And then when you look at the lawsuit, it's like, well, during the beef, he said some stuff that was defamatory and he called me a pedophile. Okay, so it is about the beef. You know what I mean? So stop saying, oh, it's not about that. You know what I mean?
It ain't
That's exactly what it is.
Certified little boy, certified. Wop, 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 wop.
God, fucking mud.
Wop, 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 wop.
I'm gonna do my stuff.
When you trolling like a bitch, ain't you tired? Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, it's like, dude, if you would just drop shit, and, you know, any good person who knows how to battle in hip hop knows that once shit is over, just let it be over. You know what I mean? I mean, he did the same kind of thing, a similar thing with Pusha T. After the battle was over, he was still talking shit. He was
talking shit. He was talking shit to Pharrell about the change. And Pharrell just like unbothered, like, yeah.
Exactly. And, you know, Pharrell, like, I'm gonna make my money regardless. You know what I mean? You playing with one of my old chains. You know what I mean? Why am I worried about you? So, you know, and it's like, that's why you can tell Drake is one of those guys. Him and Kanye got the same thing. They both in their feelings about
two
stuff.
sides of the same coin.
Yep. Drake is just a little more open about being in his feelings. It's just like, dude, you know, you was talking about how you idolized Pharrell and you bought the chain. Next thing you know, you hate him. You know what I mean? It's like, what?
And the thing of it is, Pharrell don't even bother nobody.
Exactly.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? He might have supplied the beat or whatnot, but he's a producer. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like Pharrell jumped on the track.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if Pharrell jumped on the track and was like, yeah, I'm right on this Drake.
Right.
Like, nah, he just, you know what I'm saying? He supplied the beats.
Yeah. Then he got what? Remember he got salty with DJ Khaled because Khaled was like, I'm gonna drop my album and it's got a feature by Drake. He's like, that ain't me.
I ain't that shit.
It's like, dude, man, shut the fuck up. I mean, he's helping you out. He about to drop an album that he claims has a feature from you. Now, if it really wasn't you, then do what you're doing with Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah,
sue that nigga. You know what I mean?
Dang.
But that's a real lawsuit. If he put out some shit that really ain't
that's what you need to do. I mean? Now, you're right about that,
man. That's a lawsuit.
Yeah, that's a law. Hey, man, you use my voice, my likeness.
Yeah, but now, you know, DJ Khaled had to take the whole thing away and say, okay, let me rework this whole shit. It's like, it's just unnecessary shit, man.
And see, the sad thing about the whole, The couple of things that's sad about the whole Drake situation, and I said this before, and I said this again. If Drake was smart enough, he would have taken this loss and made the most money with it.
Yeah.
Shit. After I got my ass beat by Kendrick Lamar, I would call him up. Hey, man, listen, you got me, but I think what we did, we got these streets. Listen, let's make some money.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's make what we need to do. We need to get these disses. We need to make an album collab. You know what I'm saying? We need to make a compilation of it. Hey, you make your money off your stuff. I make money off my stuff. Man, it's lovely.
Yeah.
Let's cut that up.
Exactly.
I would be the first thing I'd done.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing. Said like, oh, well, he beat me. He said this.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that. Yeah. That's what I would have done. And I think that's what rappers did. Shit, the Locks when they was against state property and all them. Behind the scenes, they was all good, but it's like, no, man, let's keep this shit going. This is money right here.
Facts.
We just keep this shit going.
Facts.
Let's make it like, because I mean, and that's the thing, that's one thing that Shaq kind of spoke to. I don't know, I forgot if he had the baby on the podcast. I think it was either last year or the year before last, but Shaq made a good point. He said, y'all need to, when y'all do these battles, y'all need to do it like WWE. Yeah. Put your shit.
Just put a show on.
Yeah, put a show on.
That's all people want. They just want a show. Because, I mean, people know wrestling is fake as fuck.
Because that's what he was saying. Like, one time, when Shaq was in the NBA, like when he first got in there, Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant was at his house. And they were just drinking beers and laughing. I said, wait a minute, I thought you hated this nigga. But that's what it is.
Yeah.
So, and then too, it's really sad that everybody's rooting for the record label. Mm-hmm. Now that's bad when the record label's like, hey, I know they made bad deals and shit, but the record label make them, Lucian Green make a valid point.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come on,
that is really bad when you everybody the dude that you really supposed to not like be like, yeah, my nigga right about that.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, and it's just, to me, it's really, and then there's all of this stuff that's coming out, about they're trying to stick stuff on Kendrick, but it's just so much stuff that's that Drake gets into and he can't really back out of it. It's just the whole, okay, Kendrick, he beats his wife. People say, okay, there's really hardly virtually nothing of that going on, but yet people can pull him up talking to young girls, kissing girls on stage. Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, there was something that came up just recently about the whole Anita Max win. That was, Anita was a woman or a girl, and you know what I'm saying, she could think in the paperwork, allegedly she was underage, and there was also a FBI agent by the name of Gloria, which that's one of the songs on Kendrick GNX album.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they're saying that there's some stuff that went on between Gloria, Drake, and then Anita. I think Gloria, her being a Fed agent, for what I understand, and this is from Torture Talk, shout them out. I don't want to say that these are my words or anything, but they have she was there to clean some stuff up that Drake did. Yeah. For what I understand.
Yeah.
And I could be wrong, so I'm just speculating. But it's just this whole beef has really spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
And it's not so much Kendrick than it is Drake. Drake trying to still keep relevant.
Exactly.
And I think it's really just detrimental to him at this point now.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's just looking bad on so many different fronts, man.
Yeah.
I mean, Spotify made him look bad because, he was talking junk about them. Now, UMG is a label. They making him look bad. I mean, UMG been going ham on him. They
Listen.
And their court documents, they're quoted as saying shit like, Drake lost the battle. And this, it's like, they're not even caring. Normally they try to not take sides. Like, we don't know who won. It's just a battle. But they're like, nah, he lost the battle and now he's salty.
That nigga lost that shit.
Yeah. Lost bad too. You know what I mean? So it's like,
got his feet. Got his snot box right. Got his TV turned off.
You know what I mean? Turn his TV off. Turn his TV off.
Pretty much.
Yo, that is funny to me, man. So yeah, it's crazy out there, man. But yeah, man. So it's been a whole year since the battle took place, and the sad part is mainly because of Drake, we're still talking about it.
Yep,
you know what I mean?
Yep.
Because of you. You won't shut the fuck up. You won't stop getting salty over every little thing. You know what I mean? You're blaming everybody but yourself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So anyway, what else we got?
So let's do this focus topic real quick. So I just want to talk about artistry, then versus now. It kind of ties in with the question of the day. Like I was saying, artists back then, particularly hip hop artists, but it could be, people were vocal about, social issues, political issues. Back and really, I mean, to the degree, not to say that stuff back then wasn't, because there was things that were bad. You know what I'm saying? They did have like pipeline the prisons and all this other stuff, to be detrimental to our community. But now, I mean, they literally talking about bringing segregation back. Literally rolling, like, look, we gonna roll this shit back to 1955 and shit. Like,
exactly.
You know, it's like, well, we're gonna make manufacturers, and they also passed a law in Florida. Ron DeSantis is up there, since now they can't get the undocumented workers to work.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're trying to get children to work, and they're trying to get children young as 14 to work earlier than 6 o'clock and later than 11 o'clock.
Wow.
So these kids can work overnight. So like, yeah, y'all really bringing back like these child labor joints, like these children working in the factories.
Yeah, you're gonna mess around and making some slavery type shit.
Man,
you know what I mean?
Listen. So this is the thing. Like back in the day, there would have been someone talking about, like, if Pac was here right now. If Pac was here, like, he would be like, "Yo, listen, this is fucked up. I don't care how much money you pay me to keep me quiet, this, that, and the third. No, I'm gonna say some shit about it." You know what I'm saying? It's just like now, and again, like I said, it's kind of like with Drake's a whole attitude, and I'm not singling him out because a lot of people have this sentiment. Oh, we're trying to keep the party going. Like, no, nigga, eggs.
Right.
Eggs are fucking expensive right now. People cannot live. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we talking about keeping partying? Like, really, right now, as people, we need to be focused on, what's our next move and our strategy, and not the fall for the okie doke. You know what I'm saying? You hear more of the people on TikTok and, influencers kind of, spearheading and, having the bullhorn, like, hey, let's not do this, da 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 da. But you're not really seeing like the artists come out and say, hey, man, I kind of I stand with the people. I don't think we should, we shouldn't do this, X, Y, and Z. We shouldn't do this, that, and the third. Right now, we need to, invest in ourselves, blase, blase, I'm saying, create community, something to that nature. You would, but you're hearing a lot of these influencers really taking that stance as opposed to the artist like we had back in the day. So I mean, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about.
But you're right though. You know what I mean? A lot of artists are not doing that, and we had way more of that back in the day. You know, now one thing I'll give, Jay-Z is not necessarily the best example, but he boycotted the Grammys before when they were, you know, not really giving hip hop a voice and things like that, and were being unfair about who they picked to get awards and all that shit. You know, I think he's the type of person, he'll do certain things to stand up for people, but he ain't gonna savor so much. You know, that's why I say he's not the best example, because he's not just gonna grab a microphone and speak out. Now, somebody like a Nas, he'll speak out. I remember one time he did a whole press conference where he was talking junk about like Fox News and all of them, how they report unfairly and stuff like that. And, you know, Nas ain't scared about that. You know what I mean? So he's just like, nah, I'm gonna talk about it. Just like a wise intelligent. You know what I mean? I'm gonna talk about it. So we need more of those, because we had way more of those. Chuck D, always willing to talk about some shit that was a serious focused topic. Like, look, this is hurting our people, and we need to do better. So we got so many people now who just, let me just make my money and go quietly over here and leave me alone. I'm not trying to be a role model, and you know, but you are though. You know, no matter how you not wanting to be, you are. You know what I mean? Once you get popularity, that's instant role model right there. You know what I mean? And so everybody just listens to what you say because you're popular.
And I want to take the time to shout out Eric Sermon. He made a interesting, I think it was the post was on Threads.
Oh, okay.
And he was talking about how, like, I mean, this still kind of goes on with our topic, but more of the music side. It's like these young guys say, y'all not really making music. Y'all not making music that's like y'all making stuff that's lasting now.
Right.
But in a couple, years, no one's not gonna remember the shit.
Yeah, exactly.
We're old, but we got songs that people
still
remember
appreciate,
because they're actual. There's actual art in it. It's actually songs. But now y'all just making this a get rich, easy type.
Yep. Yeah, because there's two things. The bar is so low, and the formula is easily copyable. You can look at, such and such did this in his song. All I got to do is I can just do that same formula, get a similar beat, not too different, and rap that way, and people gonna love me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's like, it works because you can make a lot of money doing that, but in the long run, nobody's gonna remember.
Once that style is gone, once people and that's the thing, like things are kind of shifting away from that type of stuff right now. People want to hear the messages again. People want to be inspired again.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's definitely needed in this climate because, we just, right now, it's just, things are just in a mess. And you got people that's, supporting this stuff and it's just, like I said, it's just crazy right now.
I agree, man. We definitely need more people speaking out. And I mean, it's just a way different world. And it's not, to me, a lot of people are looking at it like, oh, well, this is just how the world is. Like, get used to it. No, that's how you want it to be. Like when they had the Essence Festival and they were doing all that twerking and shit on stage. Meg Thee Stallion and all of them, Janelle Monáe.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like, this ain't what Essence Fest is supposed to be, or the Essence Awards, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's always been a classy event, and now y'all just turned it into something different. Like, we should embrace
ratchet
culture. You know what I mean?
Thought.
Thought crimes.
That
whole 304 culture and all that shit. Yeah. But yeah, man. So, and I love when people are willing to speak up. Like you said, it's a lot of more influencers. I like people like Black Dot. He's willing to speak up about stuff.
Yeah, shut up.
He knows the industry inside and out because he was in it, but now he's using his voice to kind of speak up on things. So I like that.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, and I still got to check out Thought Crimes because I know you keep telling me about that.
Yeah, man. They kind of have like long segments, but man, they'll be funny. They're funny as hell.
Okay.
But they're really informative too. They're really informative.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's
so
up.
I have to shout them out. But yeah, I think you got anything else to say, man? I think
That's pretty much
done.
it. Yeah, I think we're good. So we really appreciate y'all checking us out. Please, don't forget one last time: like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. Brothers and sisters, help us with that algorithm.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. For episode 26, this is your man Kurt, and this is
Howie.
And we'll see y'all on the next one, all right?
Peace.
Peace.